Hello and welcome to Thrive Arundel. And today's topic is what the heck is going on in the real estate industry. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to cover today, and we hope that you'll walk away with some really key, valuable information. First, let's kick off and see who's joining us today. I'm Suzanne Ratti with Ideas 360. I'm just here to facilitate the discussion. And we got three experts from Thrive Arundel. So let's get them in here. David, Diane, Andrea, tell us what you do and what you're seeing these days.
Okay, you want me to start, guys?
Sure.
Go ahead. Sure.
All right. All right, here we go. My name is Diane Donnelly, and I am the president of the listing division for the Donnelly Group of Keller Williams Flagship of Maryland. And we are real estate professionals in Anne Arundel County, and we are full service. We do everything from condos to townhomes to single family homes. We help people buy up, we help people buy down and lateral moves. But I specifically work with sellers, and Andrea will fill you in on what she does, but I am strictly working with sellers.
Awesome. Andrea.
I'll take it. Hi, I'm Andrea Loretangeli, also with the Donnelly Group of Keller Williams Flagship of Maryland. I run the buyer's side of our team. So I'm 100% buyer. So my job's very fun right now, as you will see when we get into this discussion.
I was going to say, can't wait to hear what's going on there. David?
Yes, David Ratti. I'm with the Ratti lending team at Envoy Mortgage. We do residential home loan financing, and there is a heck of a lot going on that we're going to be able to share today. So I'm excited about it. I've been in the industry for a very long time. I have processed loans, underwritten loans, closed loans. So I have quite a bit of technical background and exposure in the industry for a number of years. So I'm glad to share today.
And it's just so amazing that you have the same last name as me. It's very cool.
Crazy how that happens.
I don't always hang out with my older sister, but.
Hey! All right. So let's dig right into it. Tons of stuff happening over the last year. Obviously, COVID's had an impact on things, but let's just dig into the conversation. What the heck is going on in the real estate industry right now? What do people need to know? Who wants to kick it off?
I can start since it's on the business side. You want to follow up or start, Andrea?
Oh, go ahead. Shoot.
Okay. The real estate market is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So I have been selling homes for over 20 years, and this is the strongest seller's market that I've ever seen. On average, I'm putting a house on the market on Friday, and we're under contract by Monday. A lot of times it's above asking price, and we're getting offers that are being sold as is. The most recent is that people are paying and if there is a deficit between the sales price and the appraised value, people are coming in and saying, I will take care of that deficit by paying cash. We are getting offers that people can do free rent backs. We are getting offers for periods of, if somebody needs to move within 3 weeks, they're trying to push things that quickly, or if they need to settle a little later, they're trying to accommodate that. So if you are a seller, now is a very good time for you. On my side, things are very, very strong because of the seller's market. And frankly, the reason that that's happening is because the inventory of homes is so low. Andrea is going to share some stats with you. But when the inventory is low, supply and demand. So now we have a small inventory, a large demand of buyers that are all bidding for the same house because there's just not enough choice. So that drives up the sales prices. So we're seeing a very strong market, the strongest that I have seen in my career in over 20 years.
So Diane, let's dig into that for 1 second. I would think that in this kind of market, I heard someone talk the other day about, oh, anybody can sell their house for anything. But I would think that it's really strategic how you price it, because sure, you could price it high, but then you won't get the bidding war, right? Like, how does the pricing, the house come in?
Really good conversation. So I have this conversation with every seller. Because the danger now is because people are hearing how strong the market is, that let's say that a house that should be 600,000 and all of the comps are supporting 600,000. Sellers say, okay, great, let's go to 620 because the market is so strong. Let's go to 640. Well, there's two ways to price a home. One is to price it where we think the market is. And in today's world, anticipate that pricing it at that point, so at that $600,000 mark, and anticipate that we are going to have multiple offers and the price is going to organically go up. That is my preferred strategy. The second strategy is to say, let's beat the market. Let's go to 650. There aren't any houses on the market. The danger of that is that in today's market, with the strength of today's market, going up to 650 is going to eliminate the people that really are in the $600,000 range. And it's going to sell the houses that really are at 600,000. So you're missing the mark, and you will probably and very likely have to come down until you meet that point. Then you're competing against one or two people that are willing to play that game, as opposed to hitting it right on the nose and competing with the large majority of buyers who are out there who are looking for a $600,000 house.
Yeah.
So there's two strategies,
Yeah.
but the former is the better choice.
So I think it just brings to bear the fact that it is really important in a market like this to have a strategic approach, which obviously you provide. Andrea, talk to us about the buyer side of things.
Okay, so Diane just mentioned the lack of inventory. So the rates are still low. So what that means is we have a lot of buyers competing for very few houses. So just quick statistic, 5-year average of listings coming on in March is generally about 1,600 homes. March 2021, we had about 500 homes come on the market, so a third. So with all the buyers out there trying to take advantage of low interest rates, heavy competition, there's probably, I would say, I've been doing this, like Diane said, over 20 years. This is the most competitive it's ever been for the buyer. So while it's competitive, that's why it's important to have that experienced agent, because there's not a market we haven't been through. Yes, this is a first for us, even, over 20 years experience, but you have to go in very qualified as a buyer and know what you're getting into before you jump into the market.
I think she made a great point.
Yeah. It's expect multiple offers, like Diane said. So on our side, it's like get as aggressive as you can without being what I call stupid. But everybody's scenario is different. So and level of aggressiveness varies from buyer to buyer. But whatever you're willing to do, I'm going to coach you through it, and we're going to be as aggressive as we can. You have to be, plain and simple.
Yeah. And I think that just drives home the point, again, I hear it all the time. Anybody can buy a house or sell a house in this market. But I think that's the whole point, is that with all of these people out there, you've got some inexperienced agents, you've got new first-time home buyers. I think it's more important than ever that people have really sound advice as they're competing in this kind of environment. David, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you're out there trying to purchase a home with, your cousin who's a licensed agent who sells a house a year, you have no chance of winning a contract in this environment. You absolutely have to have a knowledgeable and strategic team to help you win that contract. The sellers are making all the rules right now. Mm-hmm. So you have to have somebody who really knows how to strategically put an offer in place that's not stupid for the buyer, but very, very aggressive for the seller to consider. And that just doesn't happen, because you have a real estate license, or you have to have a team.
Yeah. And I was going to say, so what happens with these houses where the list price is $6 and the offers are coming in at $625 or $650? How does the appraisal process work for that? What do people need to know about that?
It's exactly why you have to have a really knowledgeable and experienced team, because, on the listing side, they might get an offer $100,000 over what they're asking for the house, but an experienced agent would know what the right questions to ask, because it doesn't matter if it's not structured properly and the appraisal comes back short of that, you may not have a contract at all.
And Diane, can you talk about, as you're helping people sell houses, and I think this is probably another huge, huge factor that you can provide. So I decide to sell my house. I get 4 offers in and I go for the highest one. How do you qualify those buyers to make sure that they are indeed qualified?
In my previous life, I was a loan processor and a loan officer for about a day. I don't like your job, David. Not fun. I definitely wouldn't like it today. But so I know the right questions to ask a lender, and there are lenders. This is why, David, I want to underscore what you said about having a team. If you are a real estate agent and you are just going on a whim of, let me find a lender, not a good move, because your lender can crash your opportunity to buy a home. I will give you an example. When I get an offer, I'm very thorough and I do a lot of due diligence before I even bring the offer to the seller to present. One of the things that we do is we'll call and we'll say, David, tell me about your buyer. And there are certain questions that David's allowed to answer for privacy's sake. However, I can say, are they qualified? Are there any red flags with this? Are their ratios intact? Here's the big one. David, have you seen the buyer's W-2s? Have you seen their pay stubs? Have you seen their assets? Or is the lender that you provided, the lender letter that you provided to me, is that simply based on what the buyer has told you? And I cannot tell you how many lender letters I get that are a waste of my time. Yep. If you're dealing with a lender that says, oh no, based on what they told me, they're qualified to buy a home, I am putting you to the side because you are not working with a lender that is a serious lender, because it means nothing. Instead,
He disagrees with that.
Yeah. Welcome to 2021.
I have a visitor. Sorry. So I'm on a Zoom call, Lena. So sorry about that, guys. So instead of that conversation, I want to have a conversation that says, David, did you see all of these documents? And you say, yes, I have seen them. I have verified that they have the funds. I have verified that their statements are correct and they are accurate. I know because I have put all of this through the system that they are ready to go and they are qualified buyers. That is a lender that I'm willing to take a stake at. So I will have those in a pile. Then I go through a side-by-side comparison, because not always is the highest price the winning bid, because we're looking at the type of a loan. We are looking at the timing that they're willing to wait. Are they willing to do a rent back? Are they willing to accommodate? And I have a list of questions that we go through. And then we do a side-by-side comparison. Then I have a very detailed and lengthy conversation with the seller to say, here are all of the offers. Here are the red flags that I see. Here are the strengths that I see, and let's have a conversation about all of them. And it's not always the winner that's the highest bid, because there's a lot more that goes into it than that.
I think that's really important, because it's, I personally, am extenuously involved in the business. And I think that sometimes people get offers and they go, oh, I'm getting this much money. And then that deal falls out 30, 45, 60 days later. And then the market's changed, right? Because David, you can probably talk about this. The rates have been going up.
Yeah, since 2021, we've seen a shift in the trend for mortgage rates. And back to your point, it's not just that the market has changed, but they wasted 45 days. So now all of a sudden, their whole life's been planned. They have another house they're looking to go to settlement on. And all of a sudden, they're in a desperate situation where they have to get the house back on the market, resold and reclosed in record time. It's just really a bad place to be.
Yeah. And to your point, Suzanne, that the homes that have come back on the market, that statistic is at a high level, more so than it's been in the last 5 years. And that's it. It's like, not being qualified correctly, et cetera. And the home comes right back on the market. So we are seeing that trend statistically as well.
Yeah. And I would think, even though the demand is high, human nature is, this home comes back on the market, my first instinct is, what's wrong with the house?
What's wrong with it?
Right.
Well, I will say this. I will also say this. The amount of houses that have come back on the market is higher than it's been in a very long time. People are falling through. And part of that is because of buyer's remorse, where they buy and they're in the bidding process and they're like, I am excited, I'm going to do it, pull out all the stops, put forth their best and final offer. And they're like, the next day, they're like, oh my I won. Now what? Oh my God, I won. Did I really want to pay $50,000 $. So it's really, really important to have conversations with the agent to say, how is your buyer feeling about this offer? Because you have to have a pretty strong reason to move in today's market. Is this market for every buyer? Absolutely not. Andrea will have conversations with people to test their tolerance for the market. And if they say, I am not willing to compete, this is not the right time for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're not afraid to say that. Our job, and Andrea's job specifically, is to guide their buyers. And my job is to guide my sellers. So on my side, is it the right time? Probably. On Andrea's side, maybe not. But she's having those conversations during her coaching call.
Yeah. So, we're all members of the Thrive business community. What has been the biggest pivot for you guys over the last year with COVID? Or maybe it's a big aha moment over the last year. Who wants to tackle that one?
I will say for me, I'll go.
Go
Well,
ahead,
now,
Andrea,
I
you go
think now
first.
more than ever, our Thrive group is a very high level of trusted professionals that we've worked with for years. Now more than ever, right now, it's important to have experienced, trusted professionals that know what they're doing. And Diane touched on it, but I can't emphasize that enough. David, for example, is one of my go-to lenders. Mark in our group, our insurance, he's one of our go-to, and our real estate process. And I trust whatever David tells me. I mean, everybody's getting fully vetted before I even show them a home. And then David, takes it from there. But I know when David says thumbs up, it's gonna happen financially.
Yeah.
So it's
Andrea,
trusted people around us.
You've been working with David for several years, hundreds of loans. How many of them have fallen through?
Zippo.
0. Hundreds of loans, and none of them have fallen through.
I can tell you it's a challenge sometimes because people are like excited about the house. Give me a pre-approval. Give me a pre-approval. And you just can't be coerced into issuing a pre-approval, even though they're excited and that's what they want. They're going to make an offer on a house. 2 other people have made offers. I need a pre-approval right now, but we don't have anything to document what their income is because, lenders look at things very particularly, very specifically. And somebody might be self-employed or commissioned, and we have to do some income averaging, and you just can't issue a pre-approval because they want one. We have to do it right. I had somebody yesterday that wanted me to give them a pre-approval letter because 2 offers were on a house, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, time out. You're self-employed. And we have all these other circumstances. I need this list of documentation in order to properly vet you before I'm going to put my name on a pre-approval letter.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that's challenging because in a what I call a normal market, there's not 16 people vying for the same house, and they have time to get me their paperwork, and we can issue the pre-approval in 3 days. Now it's 3 minutes.
What about you, Diane? What's the biggest aha moment?
I find great comfort when I refer somebody to, can you see the beauty of Zoom calls working from home during COVID? There's my pivot.
Absolutely.
Because I am working with people who are getting ready to put the house on the market, there's lots of reasons why they do that. And some of it is divorce. Some of it is because somebody passed away. Some of it is happy. There's marriages, there's babies. But what's important to me is to be surrounded by people who I know and trust that are going to get the job done. So when I am dealing with my clients and they say, Diane, do you know anybody that? Or I hear a circumstance that they don't even know they need help with, that I can introduce one of my partners who I know and trust who are going to get the job done in a professional manner, right? Because we all know right now with COVID, things have been slow. You have to make 15 calls to get one thing done. You have to just put your patience cap on, and that is not my strong suit. No comments from you guys. And so I want to make one phone call, and I want it to be done, and I want it to be done correctly. my team here with Thrive is that team. So I find great comfort in being able to find that. And I have a host of things. So the other thing that's important to me is to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on. And part of being a good real estate agent is also knowing what's going on in David's financial world. And when I talk to Pablo about what's going on in the markets, and I can lend some advice and be able to help guide them to the right person, but to be full of knowledge from all different aspects of what the market entails. I think that being educated in different things is very important.
Yeah. David, any aha moments?
Well, I mean, we've seen a ton of change in our business, and there's been some aha moments, some that have benefited everyone considerably. One of the things, because it is so competitive and challenging, Andrea and I've gotten together and put together, I guess, a strategic offer program where we position our buyers to succeed. They absolutely have the best opportunity to succeed because of the program that we put in place. And I'm not even going to tell you specifically what it is. I don't want to give away all our trade secrets, but I'm telling you, it is very effective. The biggest thing I think that has really benefited our customers, and we're not going back, they love it, is our e-closings. We're not going back. I mean, originally the e-closing came out because of the pandemic, but people love doing the e-closings. Instead of spending an hour and a half in a room with 10 people, they're able to execute most of their documents electronically, and they love the convenience of that. So I think that's probably the biggest change in the past year that has happened, and it's really been a huge benefit for the consumer.
Yeah. Any other aha moments, Andrea or Diane? No? Okay.
I think, David, you summed it up nicely.
Yeah. All right. So as we wrap up, what's the number one advice that you would give to anybody watching regarding the real estate market? Obviously, you have three different perspectives and you're all involved in three different ways. But, for somebody who's looking to buy, sell, or potentially refinance their mortgage, what's the number one piece of advice that you're offering folks this year? How about Andrea?
First and foremost, it's highly important that you're pre-approved before you even decide to jump in the market. The other thing is, I'm going to do a number two, is to be fully coached. And that's what I do with every buyer, because like Diane said, I've told buyers, you're not ready for this market. And it's okay for me to have that conversation, but you have to be ready to be aggressive and fully vetted. So that's the big thing. It's no more pre-qualifications and let's go.
I think that's really authentic. I don't think there's a lot of realtors that are okay to have those kinds of conversations because they're afraid that they're going to lose the sale. But I really like that approach. And I think, that kind of honest, authentic approach is certainly valued. How about you, David? What's the biggest piece of advice you're giving folks right now?
Well, we touched on it earlier. I mean, you really have to have a top-notch team of professionals to go through the home buying or selling process. And the luxury we're afforded by being part of Thrive Arundel is that we have, the top tier lawyer in the marketplace, realtor in the marketplace, insurance professional in the marketplace. So we have these resources to surround our clients with, to help them succeed. It's really somebody working with, their cousin that has a real estate license that sold a home last year has no chance against our clients, no chance to win a contract.
Experience wins right now. How about you, Diane?
So I have two. The first one is, if you're considering making a move and you say, I'm going to move maybe next year or next 2-3 years, I'd say move now. Don't wait 2 to 3 years, because just logically, like, what's going to happen? We're seeing sales happen at record paces. We are seeing sales prices go up considerably very quickly. So in a year, what's going to happen when things start to normalize? 2 years, what happens? Will prices continue to go up? Probably not. Will they come down? my guess is at some point those prices are going to start coming down. When will that be? I don't know. But if you're thinking of the next 2 to 3 years, I would speed up that process and think about moving now. The second thing is there's two things. One more thing. So what happens when you're in your 50s? I don't remember, but it's important.
Yeah.
But so let me underscore my first one since my second one has escaped me. Just make sure that you evaluate why you're looking to move, when you're looking to move, why you're looking to buy. Because right now, if you don't have a big enough why to buy, evaluate if now is the right time for you. Put your house on the market. If you're thinking about making a move in the next 5 years, put your house on the market now and sell it at a high point, because with the people that are building their wealth through real estate, they're not waiting.
Yeah.
They're building their wealth today through real estate.
Well,
And
to add on that, Andrea's got a video. I don't know if it's already out or not out, where she was focusing on, the cost of buying a home. It's really kind of the perfect storm in some ways, in that as a seller, you're going to be able to get top dollar for your home right now, but also as a buyer because of the cost of money. But also as a buyer, it's actually never been cheaper to buy a home. That's why the demand is so high, is because, when COVID-19 hit, interest rates plummeted by 1%, and they are still at near record lows, where the cost of the money is so cheap that even offering a little more for the house, it's still cheaper to buy a home today, the cost of money, than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, I think what we're basically saying is there's a tremendous amount of opportunity. And I'll just add on to that this is a really good time to build wealth through real estate. It's a tremendous time to do that. So you guys are experts in the field. Love having you as part of our Thrive Arundel group, and love being able to not only refer you business, but I think we have all referred each other a lot of friends and family and people that we want to put in the right hands. And I think that's one of the benefits of the group that we're in as well. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for the insight and the guidance. And well, let's just hold on for the ride and see what the next few months brings.
Hold on to your hats.
Exciting times.
Yeah.
And public service announcement, well, buyers, we talk about all this seller's market. Don't be scared. We got you. David and I are been around for a long time, and our buyers are winning contracts.
We got
So
you.
Andrea.
don't be scared to come in. We got you.
Got you. We got you virtually. I wanted to ask you to share your experience of the house in Bowie. How many people wrote an offer, and what was the result of that?
Yeah, so
That's
far
pretty
record
impressive.
in 2021, 25 offers on one house.
Who
And
won?
guess whose buyer won? Mine. Yeah, that's my record so far.
Strategy.
We don't beat that this year. Ugh.
Right.
But yeah, it can happen for you buyers, so don't be scared to jump in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I mean, I think that, the takeaway is jump in with a trusted resource. I mean, truly,
Absolutely.
you do not want to be going in with your cousin's sister who happened to sell a house last year. I mean, go in with some trusted resources. Now's the time. All right.
Wait, Suzanne, one more thing before you close, because it's on that note. And the question is why? Why wouldn't you want to work with somebody that's selling one or two houses if the market is so strong, right? Why? If it's so strong, just anybody can do it. The strategies that we have to employ right now are far greater than the strategies that we had to employ a year ago.
Absolutely.
If you don't know what you're doing and you're a buyer's agent, you're not going to win, because it's too strategic right now. You have to think about every move that you make, and you have to be very strategic in doing so. And part of that is relationships that you have with other realtors, because when I see something coming in, if I have 5 offers that come in, part of my analysis is, have I worked with any of these agents before who have proven themselves successful? And we will look at how much business does the other agent do? Are we going to go to closing? Or is this just
Is this going to be a
onesie
nightmare?
twosies? Yeah, it's important to know that the opposing agent is one that is going to get you to closing, because it's not worth taking a house off the market to do that. So that was the closing as the closing.
That was our other thought. It just came
That was
flying
my- yes,
back
that's
in.
right.
That was
I
number
forgot.
two.
You're right.
All
I'm
right,
glad
guys.
we have fun doing this too.
Yeah. Well,
We always
listen,
do.
we've got, at the bottom of the screen, we've got your websites. By all means, go visit Andrea, Diane, and David at the websites listed below. And if you're a local business person, come visit us at thrivearundel.com. We meet every other Thursday morning, and you can get more information at thrivearundel.com. All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for
All
joining
right,
us.
have a great day.
You guys
See ya.
have a